Play ball! That's right. The best day on the calendar year is opening day baseball, which is today. That's right. Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable. I'm Aaron Phillips. I got Fleet Feet over here, Mr. Rick Upchurch.
Fleet Feet.
And on the far end, simply known as the Mouth, Mr. George Miklos. How's everybody doing out there? Thank you for joining us on another live edition of the Roundtable.
I hope I'm not blinding people.
How does baseball start earlier and earlier every year?
Well, last week it started in South Korea, didn't it? Or North Korea?
Well, yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's like Easter. I thought Easter was in April. It's next week on March 31st.
Well, that's this Sunday.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. It's just everything's starting so much earlier.
Hello, Patrick. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, Patrick.
If you're watching us on Facebook, as always, we thank you very much. You can catch us on the TRT page. You can catch us on the WWDBTV page. You can also catch us on YouTube under the same two channels. And in about, I don't know how many days it is now, let's just say a couple or plethora of days, you can go to your Roku channel, download WWDBTV, and you can find us there along with all of our plethora of shows and the plethora of shows that the station has. And the word plethora has been showing up all over the world on commercials.
TikTok, it started.
It's on TikTok. I read it in an article yesterday, and I said to John last week, we need to register and trademark the word plethora.
I think they got it
because it started right here.
I think so.
A plethora?
A plethora. It's on commercials now.
Yeah, it's all over. I think they stole it from the Roundtable.
Yes. Yeah.
They said a lot. That's a lot.
That's a plethora. There's a lot of things.
They stole it from the Roundtable.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm glad that you used that because it really means a lot.
Yes.
So why didn't you trademark it?
Well, where
you can't. I don't think you can trademark words in a dictionary that are already around.
Why not? I have the voice. I have the voice trademark.
Well,
that's
the
two
voice,
words, isn't it?
Is pertaining to you and your. I don't think anybody else.
Productions.
What about OJ? Orange juice.
Plethora.
OJ.
Plethora. Yeah.
Plethora of
Productions.
Plethora product. There you go. We
Plethora.
Put in the name
Can't
of
even
it.
say it. Plethora
Productions.
Plethora Productions.
Plethora Productions, East Coast. Yeah.
702-992-3207. Well, guess what we have tonight? We have a plethora of topics to share with you. Our insights up.
By the way, did you know I can read the phone number barely? 702-992-3207.
That's because it's on the Reader's Digest version of font over there.
Right.
That's
I'm
why.
like,
hey, also, not only do we have all the topics we're going to talk about, did we do back in the day? Anybody prepared for back in the day?
Well, we could pick a year and we'll just look it
up.
up.
We can go for it, big dog.
We can duck it.
We're on the move.
All right, well, that's on you then. You pick a year.
There you
And
go.
then, of course, if time allows, as well it should, we'll have America Speaks. But in the meantime, gentlemen,
speak.
how's your week since we last convened here?
Very good.
Yeah?
Yeah. How are you guys doing? I'm
good.
Everything's normal.
Good.
Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good. Hey, plethora of chicken wings, watching all the playoff games, college basketball,
Oh my God, college,
women's and men's, and NBA is starting to melt down and that whole deal. Everybody's trying to get in the play-in. I'm having fun eating chicken wings and beer and pizza.
There you go.
UNLV, the Rebels lost last night.
Yeah, the
women's?
girls are going too.
I thought they were going to.
Oh, okay.
How's Colorado? Are they still in it? In
The girls, the women are still in. The guys lost. Yeah, they're out. So.
Oh my God! I have nobody else to root for now.
I had a first happen to me yesterday. I was on my first movie set yesterday.
Yes.
I
was
courtesy of August Aguilar and Frank Aguilar, who were recent guests on Aaron's Hour. They invited me. This is where Ginger Lynn is the star of the movie. It was a prequel to The Gifted.
Ginger Lynn.
I know. I had to control my hair.
And you did that softly too.
You like
on
that?
The casting couch?
I asked to write in a love scene, but it would have only lasted 5 seconds anyway. But I'm pumped.
Comedy.
Let me tell you, I hope when we do, and I love these guys. It was my first experience. I hope when we finally get to help you with your film. So I got there really early, and it took about 7 hours before we even started rolling camera. for anything.
Get used to it, even on major Sony Hollywood
Look,
productions.
but if I'm being paid gazillions, even if I was paid as an extra, which I was not on this, I graciously went for the experience.
yeah, sure.
They came on my show. I said, if you ever have a role for an old balding Jewish guy, and they said, well, come on down. We'll put you in as an extra. Great, no problem. I took the day off from work, so it cost me money. I didn't get paid.
No,
It cost me money.
you knew
right?
that already. Yeah.
I drove from my house down to pretty much where the Silverton Casino is.
Oh well, now you know
Wow.
how
I
I
lost-
feel.
Wow.
Now you know how I feel.
No, I know.
That's
I know.
way out there.
However, the experience, it is. I had to get my passport.
Yeah, you
I know
did.
it is. I had to go through a checkpoint Charlie. However, it was a great experience. There will be, if they keep him in, they had me do a little solo thing as part of the party scene. So if they keep any of that, I'll actually
Did they
be
give
at
you a couple
my
lines?
own
Show you a
screen.
couple
No lines.
Okay.
But I was just in the background. They took a couple of shots with me in the crowd. And then I had to leave a little early because my wife's not feeling well. So I told the director, and he said, look, he says, 20 minutes. I have some ideas for you that we can put you in for the party scene. So the house we were at has a second floor balcony, basically. And so the scene was everybody was pretty well toasted.
Okay.
So everybody I had no effects on me or anything,
Right.
but everybody else was zombies and blood, and they were partying and
So
everything.
horror film or just?
Yeah, it's a horror film.
Okay.
It's the prequel to The Gifted. That's the one that they just had a premiere this past weekend.
Okay.
So he just basically told me, he says, go up there, have fun. There was like a plastic alien sitting on the balcony. And then the folks had this really long pencil that, was there. Not a real one, but sometimes
Right.
you have those real big ones. So this is a wooden carved out one for display. He says, take this up there and just have fun with it. So I did.
Improvise.
Oh, I improvised.
All right.
It made me wish I was like Rick, if you know what I'm talking about.
Running, baby.
You know what I'm
How you
saying?
like me now? Yeah.
Anyway,
Did you do a bar mitzvah too for him?
I did when I gave the pencil
When
back
you
to
gave-
them.
okay, I was just-
I went
I
back
was
to
just-
normal. I had shrinking. I went back to normal.
Yeah, I worked on a small film on Saturday.
Yeah. So it was a great experience.
It is.
I was asking a lot and I also made some great contacts.
There
Met
you
some
go.
people who maybe we can do some improv stuff with,
Yeah.
and guests in the
That's the
future.
best thing about going
Yeah.
on a movie set, because there's always going to be more downtime than actual work.
And
Right,
let me
right.
tell you, there was
So you're
downtime.
hanging out with somebody, and
Right,
hey,
yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
do? What do you do next? Oh, I'm a part-time actor, or I have my own radio show.
Mhm.
Boom, boom.
That's
Yeah, that
exactly
kind
what
of
I did.
stuff.
Yep.
You're on set for 10 hours, and you work maybe 3,
I don't even think it would have been that
and then
much.
you maybe
but-
ate another hour.
Right.
Did they feed you at least?
Well, I
5
was going to say,
services?
let's see. I had a lot of salami on crackers before the sandwiches showed
Okay,
up.
good.
They had
Okay.
chips.
So
They
they
yeah,
fed
they
you.
provided stuff. It
Okay.
was,
All
Well,
right.
they use my name and Everybody's All American. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but I've never been on set, but they use my name.
Are you a technical advisor or something for that show? Is
I,
that why
I
you're in the
was.
credits?
I was like, over
Oh,
there,
that's
do
cool.
this, go there.
yeah, I
That's
used
cool.
to watch that show.
Yeah, Everybody's All American. Get in there, up
Loved
church.
it.
I was like, oh God, they use my name.
That's
Oh my
funny.
God. All right.
That's
As
cool.
long as we're on sports. All right.
You said enough about sports?
No, I said as long as we're on
Oh,
sports.
okay.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Draymond Green last night
Oh, my
set a
goodness.
record. 3 minutes and 30 some odd seconds into
Oh.
quarter number 1 of what was, I think, his first game back of this indefinite suspension,
Right.
wasn't it?
No.
He had been back
No,
a
he'd
couple of
been
games.
back, yeah.
All right. So he gets ejected after 2 technicals
Okay, here we go.
for his 4th ejection of the year.
All right.
If you watch Steph Curry's reaction almost immediately, he puts his face in his jersey. Now, the Warriors came back to win. They were a game behind Houston, who won for like their 9th straight win. And Houston's a game ahead of them, I think, for the playoff,
Right.
the play-in game.
Playing game.
Okay. Draymond Green. I mean,
Again.
Look. Let me just say this.
Yes.
Let me say
that's why I'm
this.
bringing it up.
Draymond is one of those guys. He sets the tone. He has always set the tone for them. He sets the bad boy attitude for them because everybody
Yeah,
thinks
but
that they're
he's no
soft.
Dennis Rodman.
I know, but he's from Flint, Michigan. You don't want to go up there and walk the streets of Flint, Michigan, bro.
That's true.
Believe me. Yeah, that
Right.
too. And so what he does, he sets the tone, but he's got to realize that now they have eyes on him. Anything that he does, it's going to be like blown up.
Magnified.
It's going to be magnified.
Yeah.
And if you saw last night, the first tech was when he touched the referee. You
Correct.
can't touch it,
Right.
right?
Okay,
And the
but you-
foul was questionable in the first place.
In the first place,
But
he can't walk up on him and touch him. And he knows this. He's
Right.
been in the league for a long time, right? Then what he does, he walks away. The ref, he walks away.
Well, he goes to
Draymond is still saying some things to him.
Mhm.
This is distance.
John. Yeah.
Most guys do that same thing, but because of the reputation that Draymond Green has, they said, "Oh, really? I'm going to put another one on."
Now, I didn't watch. I didn't see the whole stretch of the entire clip, but watching ESPN and listening to some of the analysts, the ref was trying his best to not tee him for a second time
Right.
in that stretch. Like he was trying to give him as much latitude as
Sure.
he can to end it, get out of the way, so he doesn't get that second
Right.
tee. But then that's when the jawing continued, and that's when the ref, at whatever point it was,
Come on.
that's
yeah.
it, and got rid of him. So,
But for
I don't
me to say words, on the field, I said words to the refs,
Sure,
right?
man.
And they're like, "Man, get your
That
butt
was
back
a
to the dog
shitty call,
to
man.
to the huddle and stuff,
Right.
right?" And that they didn't throw me out of the game in that whole deal because I ran my mouth. Now for me to come up and touch them,
Right.
and physically touch them in that whole deal, I can see that. But come on, man, are we that soft now, man, in our society
No, no.
that I can't say
A little
anything to
jaw.
you?
I agree. A little John's
do you
okay.
chase him across the court? No.
No.
Do you want to jaw from a distance? I'm okay with that.
Right.
But as you said, the first technical was because he touched him. The referee was walking away
Right.
to go to the table
I
to
saw it,
record
yeah.
the tech,
Mhm.
and Draymond chased him, and the ref appeared to have been giving Draymond some leeway,
And he still blew it.
and he blew it.
Right.
And then
I
right,
get
because
that.
he kept jawing.
Kept John.
Right.
Right.
So here's the question: you saw Steph Curry's reaction with his
Sure.
face in, and then kicked chairs later on, or whatever it was.
Right.
Who's at fault for besides Draymond himself? Who is at fault for not having better control over Draymond and his actions?
You're
Is
not
it-
going to have control over Draymond. I'm telling you now.
Even
It's
the
not
coach-
going to happen.
The coaching staff or his
Look,
teammates.
Yeah,
How about the
no.
organization?
Listen to me.
Yeah.
In that locker room, in that whole deal, understand he's the lead dog, right?
Who is?
Draymond Green.
It's not Steph.
No, it's not Steph.
Okay.
Steph don't carry that type of bite, bro.
Well, that's what people were questioning.
Yeah, Steph is a shooter, but as far as setting the tone
Okay.
in that on that basketball court, just like Lyle Alzado, okay?
Right.
For our team, Lyle was the guy.
Mhm.
He set the tone. If you messed around, he'd
Yeah.
kick your behind. He'd
Right.
get after you. So he did set the tone for us. Draymond does the same thing. He gives them that toughness.
Right.
And so when Draymond goes off like that in that whole deal, I think it's the coaches that have to go and get him and constrain him.
I agree.
Okay.
I think the coaches are responsible to make sure that he stays on the floor,
Mhm.
continues to help the team.
Mhm.
That's what Red Miller did. Red Miller would go and grab Lyle and says, "Get your ass over here, man,"
Right.
and sit down and stop.
And cool
Right.
off a little bit.
The coaches and Steve Kerr, he let him go ahead and do what he was doing in that whole deal. Somebody's got to come and restrain it.
So again, just paraphrasing some of the comments this morning, and I hear you 1,000,000%.
Mhm.
People, from what I heard being reported from one of the sports guys in ESPN, said that they had heard that what's going on with Draymond is hurting Steph's legacy or leadership. I hear what you're saying about setting the tone, right?
Yes.
But when you think Golden State Warriors, do you think Draymond or Steph first?
I would have thought Steph.
I
Curry,
think Draymond.
But
Okay, well that's interesting that you guys are split. I think Steph,
as usual.
I
on
think
every
I
fucking
think
game.
Because
Steph,
he scores and he shoots and
Right.
he makes points.
but that's okay. But that's why he's to me the first
I
name.
want
But
spaghetti. He wants penne. So I mean, what the fuck?
let's call the whole thing off.
But
But I do agree with if you're not going to rely on somebody within the locker room, player, Steve Kerr and or management,
Yep.
or we used to have, this, when I refereed football, every team had someone called a get back coach.
That's right.
Where you turn to that guy
Coach.
and you say, you better, George, do me a favor, get your team back.
Right.
You're not the head coach, but you're the right.
Right.
That's right.
Steve Kerr needs to have somebody who shadows Draymond and gets him back and under control.
But-
I agree with that.
But here's my thing, though. For me,
Yeah.
Having played and
Yeah.
all that stuff and
Mhm.
lottie dottie and everybody in that whole deal, if I know that they got it out for me, right, because of my past actions in that whole deal, and I have X amount of text, right?
Mhm.
Why wouldn't I control my own actions because I know that they got their eye on me? That's the part I don't understand.
Well, that's why I
mentally.
said he should be number one. Who should be in control of him? He should be.
And
That's
there shouldn't
right.
be.
I
There
agree
shouldn't
with
have
that.
to be anybody behind
Correct.
him to do
That's
it.
right.
If
He's
he-
a professional. He's
Right.
won what? 4 championships.
Yeah,
guys.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Is this a case though where a guy's personality has gotten too big because of his success?
In the
Absolutely.
old days, you would be
Yes.
punished for that, but now it doesn't matter. Yes, I
Yes.
agree. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Because once again, he's got all the houses that he needs. He doesn't need any more money. He's got 4 championships
And we were talking about
and
this yesterday.
all of those things, man. So when you have success, like I said, success sometimes for people, they can't handle it.
Right.
Because now they feel like they're bigger than the law, they're
Right.
bigger than you,
Titles.
or bigger than society and
Right.
title and all that type of stuff. I'm just telling you, just from being in the locker room and around other ball players.
Right.
Some players I don't even like to be around
Right.
because their attitude is like, I'm the world because I catch footballs and I throw them. You're not the first one.
Right.
Y.A. Tittle, I got more respect for them than I do for the guys today
Mhm.
because they took a beating.
Yeah, what's the famed picture of him on his
Right.
knees?
Yeah, blood
The
on
giant
his face.
state, right? Blood
Yep.
and the whole thing.
Right. So, these guys today, man, are so entitled and so babied. And all of a sudden now it's all about me. Everybody loves me. In Denver, it was the same way.
Mhm.
But you know what? You try to carry that in a bucket, man. And anytime you need to let that thing out, man, you let it out at home or somewhere else, not for the public and the media to see it, because the media is waiting for what?
They're waiting
for the
failure.
reaction.
There they
They're
are,
waiting.
That's
man.
right. Waiting for the
They'll,
negative
they'll
news.
jump
Yep.
on it in a second.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there as we go to our first break. No, I was going to make a tease, but let's tease it this way. Shohei Ohtani, did he know or did he not know? We'll discuss that next right here on the Roundtable.
He
We'll
know.
be right back.
He know. He know.
You see,
Hi, everybody. Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, no religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hi, my name is Edgar Alejandro. I'm the co-founder of Rising Again Productions. So we've been here in Vegas producing films for the past couple of years, and we've seen our fair share of studios. We worked in our fair share of studios, and to be honest, WWDBTV has been our favorite by far. John is so welcoming. The space is wonderful. It's perfect for what we need. We've had rehearsals here. We've had callbacks here. We've had table reads here. So if you're a Vegas creative, or really just a creative coming into Vegas, definitely check out this space. Chat with John. I think you'll find that this studio has everything that you'll need as well.
All right, welcome back
What's
to
up?
the Roundtable. All right. If we had more sponsors, we could turn this into a 2-hour show.
we could. It would be
Absolutely.
So we
famous.
don't have to cut the conversations on Draymond Green off in order to move to Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
However, let's do that anyway.
We got to pay the bills, right?
Right.
$4.5 million. How do you not know that you're missing $4.5 million out of an account that is your supposedly normal account,
I wouldn't have an accountant or an interpreter or anybody would have any access to that.
except your
At all.
spouse, maybe. But,
yeah,
but
then I
still,
would count every dime,
Right.
man. I'm not gonna,
Again, I'm just speaking
we
from
talked
an
about
athlete.
this last week
I'm
too.
just talking from an athlete's perspective, okay?
Yeah.
We're too trusting. We trust people, man, with our money.
no more.
And over time, I remember when I came into the league, Floyd Little said, trust no one.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
what he said.
I
He
agree.
said, trust no one with your money in that whole deal, because money, man, brings the devil out of everybody.
Changes people.
It changes people. They see an advantage. And if you don't have, man, your eyes on your own account and make sure that maybe the checks that go out or whatever have 2 signatures on it,
Mhm.
one has to be mine and one has to be yours, boy, you're setting yourself up, man, for a bad deal.
Here's the fun. Now, granted, I don't have $4.5 million.
Yeah,
I'm
you
lucky
do.
if I have $45.
Look
in
at
my
your
bank
looks.
account. Yeah, keep
You
looking.
look like a millionaire.
I feel like
Perception's
$1 million bucks,
Perception's everything.
but I can't use anything to buy that with.
Okay.
I freak out when I go through my bank statement. I see $6.32. I don't understand
Where the hell is it?
right. I mean,
Right.
so listen. We talked about this last week because it broke last week, right? And I think we were all in agreement We talked about it from the perspective as to whether Ohtani would be able to block this out and be able to focus. Well,
Right.
guess what? Smoke, there's fire, because now the Major League Baseball is going to
They're gonna
investigate.
start sniffing
The
around.
FBI is after the bookies that the interpreter apparently was with.
Jesus.
They're going to question Ohtani. Major League Baseball
right.
is. So they're thinking worst case scenario or least case scenario could be fines. What is fines going to do?
That's nothing. You can't find a millionaire $100,000.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
That's
Ohtani's the face of the game now. With all of that money, anybody who's at the top of the totem pole as far as money is concerned, now you're the face of the game, like LeBron. He's the face of the game, or Steph, they're face of the game. And so what they're going to do is they're going to protect that as much as they possibly can, because it brings in what? Revenue. Money talks and everything else walks, guy. And if they can get around it, just like with Tom Brady, remember Deflategate and that whole deal? What happened to Tom Brady? He did how many
Nothing.
games?
Oh,
No,
one, maybe.
a couple
maybe
of
one,
games
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Deal? That's all they're going to do to them, man.
well,
because
look at Jim Harbaugh this past year in Michigan. He missed so many games,
that's right.
and they
he
still won a
won
championship.
missed
still-
two or
yeah,
three,
I
right?
missed more than that. He missed about 4 games, I think. I
Okay.
think he accepted a
And
4-game
And now he's the head
suspension.
coach of the Chargers.
Yeah,
with
after winning a
$25
national
million
championship.
deal.
Right,
Yeah.
after winning a national championship.
And I'm just saying, with that type of money that you're getting, and Ohtani's not paying attention to it, I don't believe it. I
right. I
I
either.
believe he knows more than what he's saying.
And it's just like when you mentioned, like in football specifically, when a receiver catches a touchdown and they throw the ball into the crowd, it's like a
It's a
$10,000 fine.
Right?
That
It's a
means
fine
nothing
ridiculous.
when you're making $10 million a year. So there's not enough punishment for these guys, really.
Right.
And in this
Well,
case,
the only punishment is suspension without pay.
right, but
But the players' union won't
The
allow
money
it. They'll
is-
fight it.
right.
Right. So, look, we talked about this last week, just on the surface, that there's got to be more than this.
I'm
$4.5
there will be
million,
as they
like you
keep
said.
digging.
Why would an interpreter have access to the guy's account?
Right.
Okay.
You pay him for an interpreter, and that's it.
I mean,
You don't get nothing else.
So what was he? I think I heard today that he was paid $100,000 a year to be his interpreter.
Okay, good
Okay.
money. I need to speak Japanese.
Oh, you want egg roll?
What
Yeah.
did he
Anyway,
say?
so how does a guy like that get a $4.5 million line of credit from a bookie without some sort of guarantee that the bookie is going to be paid?
That's right.
How do you do
You're absolutely right.
And I think that's got to be one of the biggest questions: is what Major League Baseball
that?
is going to go.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to Pete Rose, and I do believe he belongs in the Hall of
He
Fame,
does.
simply because of how he performed on the field,
Correct.
right?
Period.
And I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, is they will vote him in after he passes,
Of
so
course.
he can enjoy the
Just like
accolades.
you're right.
However, Pete Rose, even though he was manager at the time, he was still just off the field.
Right.
It wasn't long after he retired from active playing
Right.
before he went into the dugout as a head coach.
Mhm.
Some would say he was still pretty hot at the time.
Right.
Major League Baseball didn't give a rat's ass about that for a guy like Pete Rose.
Nope.
Your hits leader, everything else that he did, and they went after him to suspend him
So
forever.
now you got a
blah, blah,
foreign
blah.
player now. They're going to have to do something.
Something's got to be
Because he don't
done
even speak English.
if they
barely.
find some connection.
But the thing about it, did Pete Rose bet on the team that he was coaching or
He
the team
says
that
no.
he was playing?
He said no.
Right. So, what evidence did they have that he did? I never heard of the evidence.
So being a former athlete in the NFL,
Mhm.
what, and I don't know this, is why I'm asking.
Right.
When it comes to gambling,
Right.
I'm sure you know players who love to gamble on whatever it was.
Sure.
Okay. Are you allowed to still gamble in the NFL on other teams other than yours if you wanted to place a bet on other teams? As a player?
No.
Okay. That's the thing that everybody's hookup is. Whether he bet on the Reds or not at that time, I don't think it mattered, because I don't think you were allowed as a ball player
to gamble.
to
Period.
gamble
Right,
anywhere
there's certain
within,
things.
at worst case scenario, in your own league that you're a part of.
I get it.
I
I
mean,
get it.
I wouldn't even bet
But-
if I
but-
played Tiddlywinks. I wouldn't even bet. Well,
But how can you throw a game? Who can throw a game? The only person that can actually throw a game is the pitcher,
which was the
Or
scandal
the
behind White
quarterback.
Sox, the Black Sox.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
Which is
so
difficult in
how?
itself.
So yeah, which is difficult in itself. So how are you going to throw a game? Are you going to go to the pitcher and say, "Hey, man, throw a bunch of balls,
Ask
man"?
Shoeless Joe Jackson what happened in 1908. That's what the pitcher
1919.
or 1919. That, I mean, the pitchers, That was the guy who affected all the games.
Okay.
The starting pitcher. So you're right. I'm backing you up that the pitcher has the most control. Just throw a meatball right down the heart of the plate for a guy to hit a grand slam.
Or walk the guy in or any of that.
Right.
They control all that.
Right.
Pete Rose couldn't control anything.
Nothing.
Only thing he could possibly do is put money down and say, hey, man, hopefully, man, this will work and I'll make some money.
Right.
But I can't control whether we win or lose
Based on that bet.
on that bet.
Correct.
Right. So that's the only issue I have with it.
Listen, I think something needs to be done. And if I were in the Dodgers organization, if he has found some connection and Major League Baseball find evidence that more than a fine is necessary, if I were the Dodger organization, I'd want it to happen as early in the season as possible so that he can do whatever needs to be done. It's finished, and he comes back for the majority of the rest of the season.
Did you hear about this college quarterback? Was not playing now. He was not a starter either, but he came out like a month ago and said that he was approached by some mob guys to throw a game for $300,000. I'm thinking, well, why would they come to you when you're a backup? He didn't explain the situation if he was starting that game or what. I got to look it up because it just happened a month ago. Some college QB who was not a starter said he was approached at this place, a bar, a restaurant, about a couple of guys that were wanting to throw the game.
Well, they don't know what they're talking about, man. If they went to a backup, they have no
What kind
idea.
of bookies are that, right?
I have no idea. I don't know how
Very
a
good
backup, unless he was playing that game, throw a couple of interceptions.
So let me put this out there to anybody
or fumble
listening
the
that's in
football.
that control, right? So if anybody wants us to throw this show,
So I don't even.
and you want to pay us $500,000 to throw this show,
We'll
we'll
throw it.
gladly take it.
I'll throw it for
Okay.
$100 right now.
I'm
And
also
we'll advertise for you too.
that's right
Okay?
for free. We'll advertise for free if you pay us to
As we're
throw the
going
show.
down. Yeah.
That's right. By the way, I'm proud to say this announcement: Yankees 5, Houston 4. We are 1-0 and well on our way to an
Already.
undefeated
It's
season.
already
No,
started. All the sports.
Yankees
You
were
know
down
what?
4-0 early.
Yeah, go ahead.
You say that like you're surprised.
Well, the Yankees were down 4-0 today
So-
early.
Hey, here's my thing. Watch this.
You act like you're surprised.
I was a little nervous.
But here's my thing. My son, he lives in Jersey, right? He's a big time New York Yankee and a Rockies guy, right? And so every year
How do you do that?
he and I he's born in Denver. And so he when we talking at all, he says, Dad, man, they're kicking butt. They're gonna go to the World Series and he'll run it down and said another. I said, son, they're like the Rockies during the regular season. When they get to a certain point, man, all the air comes out of the balloon. They have nothing left. The Yankees, every year when they say that they're going to the World Series and they're going to win it, and they get their butts kicked. So I ain't buying nothing about the Yankees until they go all the way and win it.
Here's what the Yankees had to survive: spring training. Their injuries over the last 5 to 10 years in spring training alone
Horrible.
makes you nauseous. So the Yankees, when February 16th, 15th, whenever spring training is supposed to start, they ought to just stay home. They report on opening day and they start playing ball.
Yeah.
No more to spring training for the Yankees because it's ridiculous.
I don't know about you, but maybe Rick, are you guys going to watch the football this weekend? It's the new spring USFL. The championship of the USFL is going to play the championship of Arena.
Is that no?
That's the
yeah, but
startup
that's
game.
the new league.
Yeah,
That's that new
Rock
league.
owns it.
Yeah, with the Rock and his
Yeah.
wife.
You haven't watched the football this weekend, or it's an 8-week season. I heard.
Yeah.
It's like going to go for a couple
Yeah.
months. Keep us for NFL guys from Jones and Too Bad.
Look, I played the game of football, man, for 23 years, getting pounded around and thrown around. I am full of football, man.
So
I
no
watch
more.
it. As a matter of fact, when I do watch it, even during the regular season, I might just watch a little bit of it. I might just come in at the end because
See
that's the
what's
most
up.
exciting
Right.
thing. Because everything else is like a horse race.
Right.
They're just at first and second and third quarter. You're just trying to get
Feel
yourself
each
in
other out.
position.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that old deal.
Yep.
So I don't watch it, but I'm just gonna go back to my Rockies and that they're the same way. The Rockies, man, they get there in Denver, and I mean they start out like gangbusters, man, kicking
Right.
butt,
And
and then all of a sudden in that thin air, they're giving up home runs at the end of the year, man, like 9 giving out Skittles. I'm like, oh my goodness, and pitchers don't even want to come to Denver, right?
Because the
the
altitude
altitude,
affects
yeah.
the pitches.
See you when
Yeah.
I see it, right?
Uh-huh.
the team in Denver now is the Nuggets. They're going to be around for a little while. They're young.
Oh yeah,
The
and
Nuggets
the
are going to do it again.
Yeah, they're awful good. They
Yeah.
lost last night, but
Yeah.
you know, they're a good
Yeah.
basketball team.
I think so too. Them and the Celtics.
The Phoenix Suns put a whooping on them last night.
All right. let's change gears a little bit because a lot of topics we have
Okay.
are sports related, but I do want to change to a non-sports related topic.
Okay.
Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody affected by the bridge collapse
geez.
this past week
Yeah.
with that cargo ship. When I grabbed my phone that morning and I saw the headline come through, bridge collapse. This was Francis Scott Key Bridge, I think was the official name of it.
Yeah.
And it collapses. First, I thought it was a garbage story. I thought it was fake. And then I picked it up on another headline and I pulled it up and I looked at the video. I thought it was a paper bridge just collapsing.
Terrible. That thing was built. It just fell like a house of cards.
The cargo ship ran out of propulsion. Something happened with their engine. The captain could not move it enough.
You know, it's crazy. All that space to go under that bridge. And they did say that particular spot, if you want that bridge to come down,
that's where
that was the spot to hit it. But all that space to go underneath it, it just happened to be that one area.
And also, remember, you got to remember, and like some of the folks said that are experts in this, and they said, you got to understand what the current is doing. We don't see what's going on underneath.
Right.
We just see what's going on up top.
Right.
And you could see, man, how the boatman started doing this.
Yeah, it was.
And he couldn't start he's tried to start it again. He saw the big plume
Lights,
Yep.
saw
of
the
black
lights go
come
off.
off. Then it went off again.
Yeah.
And then that's when they started drifting. And this bad boy, look, when you're talking about with all that cargo on there, nothing's gonna stand that. Nothing, not a thing.
Well, they said it normally would take about a mile
To stop.
Right. So you didn't have that distance.
No, you didn't.
So when I watched the video, the last few cars that were going over the bridge,
Yeah, man.
just before the thing, I'm like,
Just-
those people had no idea what was about to happen
Nope.
and how lucky they were.
Nope.
They did recover 2 of the 6 missing maintenance guys. 4, however, have been lost, but our thoughts and prayers
The
go out to
good
all of
thing
them.
is that they did call a Mayday in. So the police showed up. They did have just enough time to stop the traffic just before it hit. Even though we saw some of those cars going over, you're
Right.
like, oh my God, they don't even know what's going to happen, like you said. But apparently they had a Mayday and they got there and blocked off both sides.
From the height of the highest point to the water is 185
It
feet,
just didn't look that high.
and the water temperature was 45 degrees. John.
So I read this morning that the amount of cargo, and the ship was 1,000 feet long,
Right. And it was on its way out.
right?
Yes.
And the amount of cargo that it was carrying, if it was on a train, a railroad train,
Come on.
that train would be 13.1 miles long. That's how much
Jeez.
cargo. That's how
Well,
much
that's
that
like-
ship was carrying.
One thing on a train is almost one cargo box itself,
Yeah.
right?
You know, and I wasn't really familiar with Baltimore's area. I've been in Baltimore once or twice, but you know, that
I'm
particular
gonna get real
bridge,
familiar with it soon.
well, like they said,
Bridge there.
well, they said they're
That's right.
saying that cargo going in and out is going to affect us all
Oh yeah.
because the
Supply
inability,
chain.
to
Right.
get out into
It's-
the ocean
The major port.
Right. And
on
one
the
of them, yeah.
on the East Coast. So I don't know how they're talking about going to Jersey and New York now. Some ships
Right.
now they'll
And-
reroute them.
and it'll be more expensive
But
though,
there's-
because then they'll have to bring him down from there at another cost.
And
Yeah.
there's ships.
Especially if they go to Jersey, because
I
then
know
they got the family to deal with.
Those-
Right.
I got a good friend of mine. I got a good friend of mine that
Right.
lives in Baltimore, and he said when he was up, he heard it was almost like an earthquake. He says his
Mhm.
house and everything shook in that.
Really?
And he's like, "What the heck is going on, man?" And he said when he heard about that, he said, "I am jacked up because what he has to do is travel back and forth from Maryland to Virginia, and that's the bridge that he takes
Oh, wow.
to go back and forth the coast."
They said
Yeah.
30,000 cars a day.
So when you look at the overhead schematic of the map, that bridge that far out into the bay, obviously
So
it's a
through
big
the-
connector. So now, not familiar with the area, maybe your friend can shed light on this. There, obviously, whatever the route's going to be to stay on land to go around all of that,
That's
Right.
right.
it's got to add at least
Yep.
an hour
He
to
said,
an hour
he
and a
said
half,
2 hours.
2
Okay,
hours.
so there you are.
So I had one silly thought about this because when I first saw it and first heard it, I could not tell if the ship was coming in or
Right,
coming
it was
out.
hard to tell from the way that.
So
yeah.
as when I first saw it, I yelled up to my wife, "Babe, I hope none of your recent Amazon orders are coming in on that cargo ship." Then I found out it was on the way out and I was in the clear. So,
Right.
but seriously though, thoughts and prayers go out to everybody down there. And the mayor of Baltimore said it could take about, or the governor, one of them, could take about 5 years. I thought I heard 2.
Five.
But
two?
two?
Is it 2 years?
2 years. Okay.
That's what I heard.
Right.
What to
Okay, I
rebuild?
heard
What to
5.
rebuild?
To rebuild that bridge. Now that bridge was only about 47 years old.
Yeah.
And I say only because there's a lot older bridges in this country that are still standing.
Right.
Many of
right.
them are not in the way of a cargo ship.
Right.
However, but I thought I heard 2 years also. You know, and
That's a long
whatever the
time.
alternate route's going to be, maybe they can set up ferry boats in the meantime
No,
once they
well,
clear that area.
That's
I don't
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Since you're gonna be back there on the East Coast, man, why don't you put together an LLC and we can buy ferry boats and we got a JOB
know.
player.
There you go. We'll get a plethora of ferry
A plethora of ferry
Plethora.
boats. Yeah.
John?
Yeah, I think we should petition the government to pass some kind of a bill to, you know, refurbish our bridges and roads and stuff like that.
Yeah, what a great idea that would be.
Well, I think we got the infrastructure bill that's out there. So yeah.
Well, the maintenance crew that was up there on the bridge working at that time was there to fix the bridge and
Yeah,
potholes and
yeah.
everything. That's the and it was at what 1 a.m. or whatever time it was, and there were only a half a dozen workers on there.
Right.
They had to call off the search after they found the 2 in the red truck because the other victims they are suspecting were still in their vehicles underneath encased
All
in
that
all the
stuff.
debris and concrete,
Yeah.
and it just got dangerous for them for
And
this
that-
recovery guys to go down and get them.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that water there isn't the greatest in the world anyway.
Right.
It's
Murky and muddy.
Yeah,
And the
Cold
currents
anyway.
are just everywhere.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right, let's step aside from our final break early because we still have a lot to cover before we go into America Speaks. And back in the day, we have other stuff like LeBron James. Did he?
We have a plethora of stuff.
We have a plethora
Plethora.
of remaining stuff.
And P did.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs. Hey everybody, I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Hey, welcome to the Roundtable.
Don't buy the watch, big
George.
dog. Don't do it.
Rick, myself, JPEG behind the microphone that you never see. You only hear his voice like God.
JPEG.
All right. So today, an unconfirmed report, I guess.
Ooh, those are my favorite.
Yes, from anonymous sources from parts unknown, claim that LeBron James, for approximately a year, has been taking advantage of PEDs. This accusation supposedly was opened up about a year ago when Kevin Garnett was implicated with something, and about a year ago, and Kevin Durant brought up LeBron's name, yada yada yada. So LeBron is what, 38 roughly?
38 going on 39.
38,
Damn, he's
39, and he's
God,
still
he's been
playing
around
a
a
ton
long.
of minutes because the Lakers
Yeah,
need him to
right.
more than anything else.
It's hard to
Right.
believe he's been around that long.
He's been relatively healthy his entire career,
Right.
right? The last couple of years been dinged up with an ankle into this and to
Well, the
that.
game is soft. I mean, come on. I mean,
Well, when you
I'm
have an
glad you
all-star
said
game,
that.
210 to 200.
yeah, you know.
Right? I mean, come on now. So, realistically, let's talk about it. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. Do we think he might have used some PEDs?
Well, let me
I don't know.
let me say this. Let me say this. LeBron puts in the work, guys.
Yep.
He's a hard worker, and he has the money to be able to bring in these trainers and all that.
Sure.
But remember, guys, now with these modern drugs,
Mhm.
back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s and stuff, they could detect these things, right?
Mhm.
Now these scientists, man, have now come out, man, with these PEDs that you can't even detect anymore.
And sometimes they're supposedly in the medications that the players don't know.
Right.
Because that was an excuse over the years. Oh, I didn't know what it was. Listen, if you're a world-class athlete, are you not
You have
checking
to know
every ingredient
What's
in
in your body.
Not,
You
not
do.
just because you want to know what your body's taking in, let alone whether it's on any
You do.
list.
Yes.
So I never bought into that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's in there. I'm just going to take it because my buddy Rick said so.
No, no.
Then
You got to
I'm
do
not a
your
world-class
You have to
athlete,
do your
so-
research because
Right.
it's your job that's
That's
on
right.
the line.
That's right.
It's your
Right.
money, man, that you're going to be missing out on in
Right.
that whole deal. And the wife, and she ain't even going to let you in the house, right? Where's the check
So
at?
change the locks.
Yeah,
Steve,
change-
while you're there.
Where's the check at, player? You
So
know what I'm saying?
do we think, in all honesty, and again, we don't know if it's a rumors type of story. It's one of those that is in the process of being looked at. So from an opinion standpoint, what do you think? Is there room here to investigate? Is there smoke fire? Is this just something
Whether
somebody is?
smoke this fire is an easy thing to say, but I don't know if it came up. If it's out there,
Well, what
that's
about
something.
what about his peers? They're the ones that are saying things as well, right? You said the Kevin Garnett's and the other players, they know LeBron. They know him very well. I'm sure they go out and they party together. I'm sure they go to the
Right.
Bahamas together. I'm
Right.
sure they do all kinds of things together, guys. And then all of a sudden, if you go and you party and have a good time, all of a sudden, loose lips sink ships.
Right.
People start running their mouth.
Couple drinks in.
Hi, Jennifer.
Eh.
Well, still, even if that's the case, if you have any intelligence in the old noggin, would you still do something so that those other players can put out there in the rumor mill? Or would you be smart enough to say, well, I'm sitting in front of so-and-so. I don't think I want to take a tube of PED and rub it on my knee right now.
Trust factor. It's a trust factor.
Okay.
You say to yourself, you remember, you have a group of guys that you hang with, right?
Right.
Hey, man, me and you, dog. It's us, our crew, man. Hey, man, you go out, you have a good time, party. All of a sudden, you come in, man. Y'all do an after party, right?
Mhm.
And that whole deal.
Mhm.
And you guys are hanging out, and all of a sudden, you do something, man, that's outside the doggone box.
Right.
Mhm.
You're not even thinking.
Right. It
Or
just
the
becomes a
guys
reaction.
and the guy, man, Phil won't say anything, or Aaron won't say
Right,
anything,
right.
or George won't say anything
Mhm.
because they got my back.
Sure.
But then when they're confronted about it in that whole deal, they'll say something and open their mouth.
Or at least
Loose
say,
lips,
or at least
Sink
say
ships.
enough
sink ships.
to provide an innuendo that it may be true, but not come out and say it.
Looser the lips, the quicker the ship sinks, man. These guys, man, are like women. They will run their mouth. They love the gossip.
Sure.
Like,
Locker rooms.
Player
love to
locker-
gossip. Yeah, right. I'm with you. I went right down the road with you on that one. Right. Locker rooms tend
Hey,
to talk.
wait, did you hear this, dog? Hey, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hell yeah. I heard that shit.
Hey, Kitty, nice to see you out there. Thank you for checking in. All right.
Absolutely.
Geez, it's almost quarter of already. All right, before we get into
What
America
about-
Speak.
What about P. Diddy, though? We can't.
That's what
I
we're
was
doing
saying,
right now.
okay,
No,
my
but
bad.
I
Let me finish my sentence.
We could just do P. Diddy because we
No,
can
no.
do, and we could do back in the day.
No. Let me
America
finish
Speaks-
my sentence.
Okay, because I got P. Diddy
Then
right
you-
here.
Then you guys wouldn't be all over me. Let me
Okay.
finish my sentence.
Okay.
I can't believe we're at about 15 minutes left in the show. So before we get to America Speaks and back in the day, I suggest we talk about P. Diddy. That's what I was going to
This
say.
could take
My
the
bad.
rest of the way. This
If
could
it
take-
does, it does. All right.
My
Is
bad,
that
bro.
what-
Okay.
I was out of line.
Real quick. Sean Diddy Combs, a rapper and music mogul credited with helping launch the careers of some of. Did you guys just see that?
You know why we did that?
What
Because
the-
we have no story about transgenders on the show. So
That-
I figured
yeah,
we'd give you-
well,
we'll
we'd
give you something.
to
I
talk
can go
about.
there. Yeah. Well, Diddy. Well, we got.
Salt and pepper, you know what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
So you didn't
Reverie.
hear about P. Diddy, right?
Right. Yeah,
Oh,
we're doing
P.
that right
Diddy.
now.
That's right. We're doing it right here.
P. Diddy.
Call me Eminem.
P.
Now
Sean-
P. Diddy.
P.
He
Diddy.
was born
Sean-
a woman.
Hey,
Sean
did
Diddy
P. did
Combs.
it? I mean,
Sean Diddy is now facing multiple civil lawsuits accusing him of sex trafficking, sexual abuse, and rape.
Rape.
He's been
Of who?
formerly known as P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, this Daddy, that Daddy, and a host of other names.
Sugar Daddy.
Has undergone a myriad of inventions since myriad.
Do you need to enter
But
my
has
groups in my
since-
elementary
yeah.
school?
But since into right, he has a plethora of reinventions. Federal agents they raided two of his homes, Los Angeles and Miami, on the 25th of March, a couple days ago. They did it at the same time because they wanted to make sure that somebody in Miami wasn't getting stuff out
Right.
while they were raiding the LA house.
Mhm.
So,
'cause they 3 hours ahead.
and of course, his attorney, these accusations and money grabs are baseless and sickening. Although we've been hearing this kind of over the last few years, but I guess it all started because of his ex-wife or the girlfriend that
Cassie.
she filed a lawsuit, I guess, of last year,
Yes.
wanting $30 million.
Right.
oh, the baseless, the thoughts, he does this,
Right.
he raped me, he tied me up in a room and left me in there for
Yep.
2 days.
That's true.
Hell, Sean Penn did that to Madonna 30 years ago.
But here's the thing about it, about that and that whole deal. You have Cat Williams coming out
I believe
talking
you.
on Shay Shay. Wait, then you got Usher. Usher is telling people, man, even to this day, I still have issues of sleeping because when I used to stay there, Justin
At
Bieber,
14.
yeah,
Usher was
14 years
14,
old. Yeah.
Bieber was 15.
and Justin
And you-
Bieber, he's got stories as well. Remember with Michael Jackson? Remember they came out with all that stuff about Michael and that whole deal. And Michael just said, "Hey man, I missed out on my
He did.
childhood,
Mhm.
and so I just love kids being around kids.
Right.
Not that I'm doing anything to them.
Right.
I'm just showing them love."
Although, and that's all well and fine if that was the way it was, but in my neighborhood, if it's, oh, George, he's got 3 or 4 12-year-olds staying over in his house. Oh, I missed out when I was a kid. They would crucify and burn my house down.
That's because you have a record. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Merry
right.
Christmas. Huh?
Thank God. Thanks a lot, man. But yeah, so, the accusations that Cassie is going after him now. Now all this other stuff is coming out. Now, and like you said, Cat Williams with Shay Shay. I saw that interview.
Yeah.
And even it was crazy. Even he was on the couch going, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna get canceled. Oh my god,"
Yeah.
because what Kat was saying.
Right.
And again, you don't know if it's all true or not, but it's sure starting to come to the forefront. Some of it.
But here's the thing about it. Here's just me. If you're gonna go after, all these guys, R. Kelly
Mhm.
and Bill Cosby and all those guys, right? These guys were out there doing some things they say that were outside the box, sex trafficking and all that stuff. Who was the biggest sex trafficker here in the United States of America?
Oh, I know what he's going to say because he's
Dead guy.
Hugh Hefner. Hugh
Yeah.
Hefner, man, had more doggone girls, babies, and stuff, man, over there in Chicago in that mansion than Carter's got liver bills.
This man
Did
in
he?
Chicago? I thought it was in LA.
both.
No.
Yeah, he
My
started
brother-
out in Chicago.
Yeah, because I've been there.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay, here we go.
I've been there.
New topic coming
Yeah,
up right after.
I went there. I went there with Walter Payton and that whole deal. So I'm just saying,
We
wh-
explained
why
why we
why
put that.
why
Right.
didn't he go before the court system as well? And they know that he's doing it,
Mhm.
Well, I guess
and they're coming after P. Diddy.
They are
They're coming
now.
after R. Kelly. They're coming after Bill. They're coming after all those guys. Is this the Illuminati that's coming after those guys because they won't submit to what they do? What's
Cat
supposed
Williams kind of alluded to that. He goes, "I was not going to sell my soul." He goes, "I
Right.
was offered $50 million on 4 separate occasions to do things that would propel his career and give him some money." And he goes, "No, I'm not doing
to do?
it."
Absolutely.
Whatever
That's what
it
he's saying.
was.
Right.
Sexual or this or breaking the law or whatever. Now, here's some more names are flowing. The lawsuit alleges that Combs regularly hosted sex trafficking parties with underage women, illegal drugs, and record label executives who looked the other way because of all the financial benefits that P. Diddy, was a billionaire. Now, also, another celebrities' names have come up, and boy, if the royal family doesn't need any more damage, Prince Harry's name has come up in some of the lawsuits. They didn't say why or what, but here you go. All this, it could be, they're already comparing Puff Daddy to the Epstein thing. Well,
There you go.
P.
Yeah.
Diddy's still alive,
That's
hasn't
right.
killed himself, or
That's right.
nobody's killed him, but he's not here. I think he took off somewhere.
But he
And,
landed in Miami. They hooked him up. They came up and grabbed him up and that whole
They
They talked
did.
to him and then they released him and that whole deal. They got all
For
of
now.
the tapes. They got all of the books. They got all of that information and they're going to go through it, guys. And you know what? They're going to take a fine tooth comb and they're going to find something.
You know what blows me away? Is they arrested a white guy, 25-year-old white kid in Miami as his drug dealer. I went, no shit. And he played basketball at Syracuse for 2 years.
Oh,
They
don't
showed
tell my
pictures.
wife that.
I'm
But I
telling
did see-
you.
I
I
did see
just
that
told you.
article.
I just told you.
But you don't listen to the show.
But yeah,
But I
But
did
yeah,
see that article.
25-year-old young kid arrested as the drug mule, bunch of cocaine. I think, first of all, P. Diddy, I guess good for the white kid to get money for a drug dealer, but why P. Diddy, you have other people that you know
Sure.
and trust. All of a sudden, I had to laugh when I saw
Yeah.
a 25-year-old white kid. I thought maybe it might have been a 50-year-old buddy
Sure.
of his from high school.
Here's why. Let me just speak, okay? Look, most folks equate drugs to black folks. I'm telling you. Oh man, they're over there on the corner. They're selling crack.
I don't
They're doing blow. They're that whole deal. Remember, the guys on Wall Street would go down into
Yes,
Harlem
right,
to get their drugs. So what they do is they equate drugs with folks of color.
right.
That's why.
Here comes the rich white Wall Street.
And so he's the cover.
right.
He's the cover. Hey, he ain't gonna be doing that, man, with those guys over there. And P. Diddy saying, hey, homie, they're not gonna suspect you because you don't look like us.
Right.
I'm just telling you what I know. These are
Played
facts.
basketball at Syracuse. You're a good white kid.
No, these are facts.
Yeah,
though.
no, I
I'm
get
telling you,
it.
hey,
I
I'm
agree
telling you,
with
man.
that.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So I don't know. Now he's been alleged to have gotten pay, and the white kid was also the pimp. He would go out to the girls, the strip clubs, get the girls, negotiate whatever payment they were going
Well,
to
you
get.
have to supplement these college tuition somehow, don't you?
Damn, man.
You don't want no student loans, right?
But once again, who's going to suspect them to doing it?
Right.
But if you have a kid with long dreads and he's, hey, man, what's going on? The first thing they're going to do is pull his ass over, man, put him up against the wall and say, hey, dog, what's up?
Yep.
I just hope I hope this doesn't turn into that. It doesn't matter what he is or what he's a billionaire who was probably having supposedly, allegedly, sex trafficking young girls. And P. Diddy supposedly favored guys.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't,
man.
I hate to say that, but damn, there's some rumors now that him and Jay-Z were not just best
Bunkies. They were
buddies.
bunkies.
Was it knocking the boots?
Roommates.
He was knocking the boots.
They're real close
Look.
friends, and this is from 50 Cent mouth. That's what they're.
But-
He's
but
got. He's
Take it from the guy who has on record the worst opening pitch in a baseball history. You're going to listen to 50 Cent for that
really?
stuff?
Does he pitch a bad ball?
Oh, you have to look it
No.
up.
I'll
He-
pay him
he
$1
goes
just to keep his mouth shut.
and
That's
he'll
what
give
I'll
you 50 cent change. Look it up. You'll see the worst ceremonial first pitch. He winds up. It was at Shea Stadium or
if I
City
had
Field.
been offered
He
an
threw the
honor
ball-
to do that, I would be practicing every day. For
Oh hell yeah! Listen. Cash and I, we threw out the first pitch at Cashman Field years ago. We warmed up for days before.
Oh,
Stacy and I, she was my catcher.
How'd you
I
do?
still bounced it.
Oh,
Anyway, but 50 Cent, look it up online, man. He rears back. He's wearing a Mets jersey with the 50 on it. He goes to throw it 3 feet from the mound. It goes straight down, bounces, and goes that way. Boy, he got booed out of state.
You know the reason why? These guys don't understand that the mound is standing up
That's
here.
right.
And when you come up,
right.
you're throwing it.
It's not like a hill.
The best one I ever saw.
You need to be throwing for the bleachers.
Yeah.
Right, and then it'll come.
Right.
The best first pitch I'd ever seen. George Bush.
I
after
was just
9/11.
gonna
Right?
say that.
He got.
He
and
was a baseball guy.
Of
anyway.
course he was. He was
played
part owner of the
baseball.
Texas too.
Yep.
He didn't get on the mound. He stood right in front of the mound, I believe, if memory serves. He threw a
Beautiful.
change-up pitch, man. Right, that was. You couldn't have. I have. Look at this. I have goosebumps just thinking
yeah.
about it because of
And
September
he
11th.
played for Yale. Also,
I
so
mean,
did
that
his
was
dad.
probably the best I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
But we digress. How did I get on first pitch? 50 Cent.
50 Cent.
But listen, you guys mentioned names that are involved with this. Like, who is this? Cat Williams?
Cat Williams, yeah.
he's a great comedian. And I never really cared much for him until I watched that whole interview with
Shay.
Shay. I saw it. And even he was just going, "Oh fuck, I'm going to get
All
canceled."
right, so here's here.
What he
Maybe
was
this
saying.
is bad for me. I have no idea who Cat Williams is. I have no idea who Shay is.
You got to build.
You know who Shay
You
Shay is.
No. Wait. You got to build your culture picture bigger, man. You got to get outside the box.
Tell him
man.
who Shay is. Tell him who Shay
I have
is.
stopped watching. I have stopped watching the Grammy Awards because I don't know who the musicians are.
Shannon Sharp is Shay.
Oh, that's Shay.
yeah, he's got his own.
Couldn't
show.
they have? I know who. Oh, he's got his own show.
Own
He's not
show
with.
now.
Well,
It's
you
a
know,
nice-
come on, man.
No, he's not. I don't think he's still with.
No, he's not.
No,
with
he's
Skip
with Stephen A.
Bullock.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
he's
he's
with Stephen
gone.
A. Smith.
He's
Well,
not
He's
that's
got
what-
his own show in
but
front of a
he's with-
fireplace,
he was-
couches,
But
and
isn't
he
he with-
interviews big people.
But isn't he still with
He
Stephen A.
comes
Smith?
in every so often. He makes his
okay.
appearances.
All right. So here's the thing with Shay. Now that I know who it is,
Yeah, Shannon.
couldn't they have picked a more masculine nickname? I mean, I thought it was a girl. I had no idea.
Have
I
you seen
did
how
too.
he dresses?
No, I have
Shannon
not.
Sharp,
stuff,
yeah.
man.
But
I
he's
know he's in
muscles
shape and
and
all that. Yeah. But no, he's but Cat Williams, you look at YouTube Cat Williams. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
If
He
I have
is.
to look him up on YouTube,
But he's not as when you catch him outside of his comedy routine, very intelligent, very smart. He knows his shit. He has 5 girls and 5 boys. He adopted some kids.
Okay.
And he goes, I was not going to go down that road that would have allowed me to make as much money as everybody else. He's happy with what he's doing. He just said there's stuff going to come down in 2024. And it's a month ago. Sure enough, it's starting.
I
Whether
don't
it's
know.
all
You said
true
Cat
or not.
Williams. I must have been thinking about Wendy Williams, and I cross-wired.
Well,
who
she's
they
got
were.
her own issues too. Wendy Williams. She's got her own
I know,
issues.
I know.
You know.
Anyway, but it's true.
Okay.
I didn't know Shay.
And you know who else is coming
Wasn't
out?
there a song
Mary
Shay
J.
Lamar?
Mary J. Blige. You know who Mary J.
Yeah,
Blige
of
is?
course.
I know Mary J.
Yeah,
I've done
Mary
security
J.
for her.
is coming out and even saying things. She's like,
Really?
gang,
Wow, I haven't heard that. part.
yes, sir. I got some info for y'all.
Is that your America Speaks topic, by the way? I'd love to hear comments on this story.
I
If you
can't, but I
find-
can't get on. For some reason, the first time ever, I can't get on in here to read some comments.
That's what she said.
But here's a meme if you guys want to see. Shawshank Redemption, directed by Dan Schneider, soundtrack by R. Kelly, starring Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy.
Yeah, but he,
Hey guys, I'm
can
going
you
to get
zoom in
tickets.
if we put the?
It's
You
hilarious.
want a ticket?
Yeah,
Let's
I'll
go
go.
get these.
Can we broadcast
John,
from
do
there?
you want a ticket?
Oh,
Wanna go
that's-
see this?
I had.
Can we
that's-
broadcast from there?
Oh,
Bring
We'll
the
do a red
popcorn.
carpet. We'll do a red carpet.
oh, and
my God.
T.J. Jakes, he's the
TD Jakes, yeah.
he's a
Pastor.
pastor. I guess his name's on the list. Cuba Gooding's name is
Oh,
on the
no,
list.
not
That's right.
Cuba.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cuba.
show me the
I guess
money.
I was going to
He
say
was
that
show
now
me
has
more
a
than
whole
that.
right. Show me the money now has a whole nother meaning.
Hey guys, remember
Jeez.
this. Remember this. You have the Illuminati, but you also have that Hollywood.
Right. Elite.
Close your mouth.
Right.
Don't say a word. This is what we do. And Michael Jackson, I think he was trying to tell us, man, exactly what was going on, but he couldn't just come out and say it.
Now,
And in his music, he would tell you this. They don't really care about who. They don't really care about us.
Well, anybody could hit those high notes. That's got to tell you something.
well, we all love Michael Jackson. We all love him. It's just, do you believe some of those accusations and issues that he went through?
I don't know. I can only
A
believe
little.
what came out of his mouth.
Right.
And he said the only reason, man, remember, he bought the Beatles albums, right? That gave him so much power. And remember, you got people that don't want them to have that power. If you remember,
Paul McCartney
Yeah,
was one of them.
I know.
He was unhappy.
and the other one is this: when you talk about Bill Cosby, he was getting ready to buy NBC. And what happened? All of a sudden, these women came forward in that whole deal.
I didn't
Guys,
know he was looking to buy NBC. I
Yes,
honestly
he
didn't
was.
know that part.
Yes, he was.
I
And
just
so-
thought the accusations came out. I
Nope.
didn't realize.
and so all of a sudden, these women now see money, right?
Mhm.
Hey, Muhammad, you got to pay
Oh.
me, dog. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
I agree. It doesn't matter if you're Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Trump, whoever. When somebody comes out 40 years
Had to get
later,
Trump in there.
Right,
didn't he?
40
You notice
years.
that?
I don't like the accusations 40 years later.
I don't
Okay,
think
if you
statute
got
of
raped or
limitations-
sexually abused, come out with a year.
I agree.
Not 40. Not
I'm with you.
even Dustin Hoffman on the set of
I'm with
Tootsie. 30 years later, oh yeah, he grabbed my ass. Stop! 30 years ago, stop it, man.
Or isn't there statute of
You
limitations
can't even-
on filing suits?
No.
I thought
No,
there was. I thought
Not
murder.
sexual.
I thought murder was the only
None
one.
of
You had
that.
7 years. It was you had lifetime with murder, but everything else, if you don't report something in 7 years, it disappears.
Not sexual because what they can do is come after you civilly.
Civilly, and that's what
Yeah.
they're doing with some people. You can't.
But
get them
Bill
to go to
Cosby
jail.
got caught up criminally as well.
Well, with the drugs and the whatever he was feeding them.
Oh,
Was it Quaaludes? Remember Quaaludes?
Yeah, Quaaludes.
Yeah,
And the
he-
women would come to his room and say,
Yeah.
give me a Quaalude. Me love you long
I'm
time.
gonna-
I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
I mean, hey,
I'm
man,
gonna
that's-
let him in. I'm the guy. I'll be like, come on in,
And
girl.
that's true.
Did
I
they
would.
sprinkle it in the Jello?
That too.
What-
Yeah, anywhere you
put in
Oh,
Jell-O.
the meaning to a Jello shot.
I
doesn't
can't.
it?
I can't say, God forbid, I get lucky and make it famous and start making money, and all of a sudden, some girl from 50 years ago comes out. He fucked me in the ass when I was in it. You
don't
can't.
have to worry about that.
I don't. Well, I do, but in today's world, I don't.
If a guy comes out and says that
Then
about him, then we're in trouble.
I'm paying. If he comes out, I'm paying him to get out.
oh, my
let me
Lord.
tell you, Hollywood is a strange place, man, and I'm glad I never had nothing to do with it.
Thank goodness the clock is running out on this show, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
guys want- well,
Because
God
the more
forbid-
we talk, I'm afraid to
Well,
find out what else we'll
if
learn.
you guys met a girl at a nightclub in 1987, and all of a sudden something happened, and then 35 years later she comes out to sue you guys, that's not something you would enjoy.
I have to
Really?
say
It's
every
stupid,
time.
even if it happened.
I'd be in deep shit.
No.
But me too.
Were you married then? No.
But even if you did the deviant things they say that these guys did,
Yeah.
even if you did all the stuff that you're accused of, come on, it's 3 decades ago.
I
You
have
gotta
to say
stop.
when I hear
It's
about
gotta
these
stop.
suits where somebody comes out of the woodwork hundreds of years later and wants to sue somebody for
Wrong.
it does upset me because I think it's ridiculous. Like, where were you when it happened? All right.
Right.
With that, the meters
Have
were.
you ever seen what happens to a woman when they do step forward?
They fall.
They
back.
get scrutinized.
Yeah.
Run them over the
They're
coals.
fucking torn to shreds.
Yep.
Well, then
Remember this chick named Anita Hill?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to bring him Thomas. What is
thank goodness time is running out on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps we won't pick this up in our next
and he's
episode.
still wearing a robe.
Anyway.
So whatever.
With that, we're going to wrap up and get the hell out of here before the FCC takes over the internet and shuts us down. That's right. George, final thoughts.
I love you guys. Keep your head above water. Keep waking up every day. Go to work. Pay the bills. Do what you can. That's
Boy, let me tell you, precious metals are going off the chart right now. Gold and silver is at an all-time high, folks. Look into it. If you need any help, man, call us here, man. We can help you.
There you go. We can help you in a plethora of ways.
Plethora.
Anyway,
God, that
thank you for watching, everybody. Some quick programming notes tomorrow. Kiwanis Connects, Immediate Past Governor Val and myself. We're going to recap Midwinter South. That was last week in Riverside. Saturday, Thoughts Count Anywhere. We're going to go 2 hours instead of one. Sorry, John. We're going to go from 9 to 11. Why? Because there's so many wrestling topics that we need to talk about leading into WrestleMania the following week, which will be a 2-hour show on Saturday.
What?
So 9 to 11, and then Aaron's Hour will be on at noontime. I will be back in the saddle, and once again, I would thank George for taking over the reins last week for me.
I did good.
So
Now, I won't be here next week, right? I'll be
You
at
don't know
Johnny-
if you're going to be here?
Well,
or not?
no.
we're going to be here next
you will.
week. We're all
Yes,
going to
you
be here
will.
next week because we're
Monday.
getting together to talk about stuff, aren't we? Don't mind him. His drugs haven't kicked in. Have a great week, everybody.
Oh, my bad. Hey, look, again, I got CTE, and they're just trying to keep me in line, okay, folks?
Be kind to everybody. Why? Because we're all we have. We'll see you next time right here on the Roundtable. I have no idea what show I'm doing anymore. See you. Bye-bye now. Have a great night. Riveter. Let's go, y'all.